Welcome back, sports fans, to the only show that does not need performance-enhancing drugs. I'm Chris Carr.
And I'm Kevin Cohen.
And today we're going back
and forth. The Cal women's swimming and diving team swam their way to their first ever Pac-10 title this past weekend at the Pac-10 championships that were held in Federal Way, Washington. The Bears tallied 1,550 points en route to the victory and set a bevy of records in the process. Now, Chris, I know they can freestyle better than Kanye, but how do you think they'll fare against the rest of the field at the NCAA championships?
Well, Kevin, I actually think they do have a very good chance at the NCAA championships because when you think about it, Cal broke the three consecutive Pac-10 championship streak by Arizona. So, I mean, that's very important. And then Dana Vollmer is going to be important, and her leadership abilities are really going to make or break Cal's success and their chances at the NCAA championship.
Yeah, great points. I really think Dana Vollmer had the meat of her life. She was just 0.19 seconds off from tying Natalie Coughlin's record of 47 seconds in the 100-yard freestyle. And, you know, talk about Lauren Boyle. She won her own Pac-10 title by winning the 1,650-yard freestyle with their school record of 15:56.93. So I think both of them have a really great shot at winning.
There was men's basketball being played this weekend at Haas Pavilion as the Bears welcomed in the LA schools and split the series, beating USC 81-78 in overtime and falling to UCLA by 4 on ESPN. Now, did the Bears cave under the national spotlight, Kevin, or what really happened in this game?
Well, besides Digger Phelps totally jinxing the Bears, I do agree with Montgomery's notion that, you know, take it one game at a time, but I just think the Bears got tired, and that can be attributed to, you know, UCLA going to that slow it down style. Sure. And, you know, what that did is, you know, the mantra continues, you know, when the Bears get tired, the D goes down and the turnovers go up, and that was really the telling stat in the game. In the turnover department, Cal had 14 and UCLA only had 6.
When you think about the defense, you know, being less effective in the second half, Darren Collison, the star player for UCLA, had 22 points on the night, 16 of which came in the second half, as well as a 13-0 run by the UCLA team as a whole in the second half as well. So, I mean, that was really telling stat for me, as well as in opposition to the USC game, the Bears only allowed one made basket through the last 2.5 minutes of that game. So, you know, I think defense is really key both of these games.
Yeah, those are great points. And in the SC game, you know, the young Bear team were able to close it out, but you know, in the UCLA game, they made a lot of critical mental mistakes, like Theo Robertson's intentional foul on Nikola Dragovic that ultimately ended up in the 7-point play.
It's not going to get any easier for the Bears going into the Arizona schools, then going into the Pac-10 tournament, but we'll see what happens coming up this weekend.
The Cal women's basketball team traveled to USC and UCLA over the weekend, and although they did manage to split, they struggled mightily, barely squeaking out a win over the Trojans, and then got hammered by UCLA on Saturday. To complicate matters, Alexis Gray-Lawson sprained her left knee against the Bruins. So Chris, what now?
Well, Kevin, when you ask that question, I think it has to start with the devastating injury to Alexis Gray-Lawson. I mean, when you take her out of the lineup, she's a player who scored, you know, 37, a career high against Stanford, 25 against Rutgers. She's really the third part of that offensive trifecta for the Bears with Ashley Walker and Devin Hampton. When you take her out, really it makes it harder on those other players to get their shots. And, you know, you're telling me basically, too, that if you take out that third player, they're going to be able to beat Stanford and even some of the other Pac-10 schools, USC, UCLA, like we saw this weekend in the Pac-10 tournament? No, I don't think so.
Yeah, and now someone from the group of Casey Morris, Natasha Vidal, and Lauren Greif is really going to have to step up big time. Now, talking about the Bears' recent play, head coach Joanne Boyle just called it lackadaisical and sloppy. Now, don't get me wrong, that has to improve, but you know there were some bright spots over the weekend with Ashley Walker scoring her 2,000th point and Devin Hampton scoring her 1,500th point as well.
That's all the time we have this week for Back and Forth. I'm Chris Carr.
And I'm Kevin Cohen. Check in next time to get your download for What's Up in Cal Athletics.